Hello Aries, Aries rising, and Aries moon people. This is your weekly astrological and card horoscope for the week starting May 22nd, 2017. And a quick reminder for all you guys out there, remember, if you do want to get a session with me, you do need to go to my website, integrativemysticism.com. There is a self-schedule application on the website, or you can order a downloadable video file. So what is going on with your astrology this week? This week it seems to be all about Venus, the planet of love, happiness, peace, harmony, and good fortune. And Venus is actually moving through your first house, your sign, giving you all those wildcard blessings of Venus this week. And we've got two key moments where Venus really goes to work. The first such happens at the very beginning of the week. On Monday, we've got the moon forming a tight conjunction overnight with Venus in your sign. And whenever the moon and Venus comes together, we have a really good opportunity to fill some kind of void that has been made. Whether it's an emotional void, a romantic void, or maybe even just a void in our social lives in terms of the energy. Usually when the moon and Venus come together, we do tend to see a focus on peacemaking. If there's been any kind of void maybe coming from a rift in a family situation, in a romantic situation, if we haven't been talking very well, the air hasn't been cleared very well, people aren't confident in their ability to articulate, or simply to patch things up and again fill whatever void needs to be filled to make people feel like things have been adequately patched up, you can count on the early part of this week to be working hard to present everyone with all those options to do so. On Thursday, we've got Venus forming a tense square to Pluto in your 10th house of career. And this is kind of a good thing, creating a bit of tension or a bit of stress for you, but it's not necessarily the worst thing in the world. When Venus forms a square to Pluto to your 10th house of career, there is something being put on the table that may be coming late, but it is good fortune. The issue that comes from this, though, is that it will compete with another priority that you have when it comes to your work and your finances. Is it the end of the world? Absolutely not. It is, again, something you've been waiting for, something that you may have dismissed. It's coming a little bit late, but it may not be too little. So what is coming on with the cards then this week? Well, for your spiritual advice, we do have the card of the Fairy Godmother. And this card tends to talk about a need to pay attention to, again, where you are being spared troubles by forces around you. Okay, a lot of this week is going to have you maybe noticing that certain things are being taken off the table, certain things being put on the table, and it may not necessarily be your decision. Sometimes the Fairy Godmother shows up in our life where we are sort of a biased jury when it comes to making the right decisions for ourselves and all concerned. Or we may be, having maybe a bit of a cognitive bias. We are thinking too much about the wrong people, the wrong priorities when we make important decisions for ourselves. And sometimes those decisions will be made for us, whether for good or for ill in the beginning, in the delivery. It always turns out for the best. So, if you can imagine if Cinderella said, "F off, I don't need your help," to her fairy godmother, how bad that would have gone. So this week, just make sure that we don't end up doing that. Even though it may not necessarily appeal to our ego, it resonates with our spirit. For your Earth sector, when it comes to your work and finances, we do have the Seven of Cups upright. And again, we have this weird situation where we're presented with a lot of extra options. And again, with that Venus square Pluto, that makes a lot of sense. Something extra is coming on board, something that we really do want, but we may not be able to have everything all at the same time. With the Seven of Cups upright, this can indicate an additional job opportunity, an additional offer being put on the table, or maybe an additional project that could be very lucrative that you may feel your hands are too full to take on. The Seven of Cups upright does say choose wisely. Again, you can't take everything on the table with you. But this week, it is something that is being brought back into your space, brought back into your life that you would have picked first anyway. So if you get your first pick after all, it is okay to consider dropping plan D or C and keeping A and B. Even though it's extra money, even though it may be extra stress to re-coordinate and play that musical chairs, this is a time to really consider, look, it may have come late, but it is meant for you. Okay? Very important to pay attention to. For your communications with air, when it comes to your friends, your relatives, the others in your life, we have the Six of Swords reversed. And this card can indicate a reunion. There could be news about somebody moving back into your space, moving back into your neck of the woods, or somebody reinitiating contact with you after a long period of absence or a long period of estrangement. The Six of Swords reverse is not saying whether or not we ended on good terms or bad terms, but we may actually miss this person nonetheless. Sometimes we miss people and we have regrets about the way things ended or the way things left off when they decided to move or whatever was going on. But the Six of Swords reversed is saying, again, we will have that person back into our lives very much on the regular this week. And hopefully, you know, further on if you guys can work it out, if it does need to be worked out. For your challenge this week with fire, we do have the Six of Wands reversed. Again, backpedaling seems to be an interesting issue here. And again, this isn't necessarily a bad card. Not all reversed cards are bad cards. You know, it's kind of a novice reader move to assume that reversed means bad. And the Six of Wands reversed can indicate here that backpedaling out of a decision that you've made, a commitment that you've made, that is, again, maybe not meant to be kept on the table or on your priority list, could be a challenge this week. Whether it's a challenge because you don't want to come off as somebody insincere, you don't want to take something back that you put out there, or maybe it's, you know, Six of Wands, you know, backpedaling out of a situation that, you know, you'd still like to see happen, but you have had a better opportunity present itself. We have these things come up sometimes, you know, sometimes we take on an alternative too fast, sometimes we take on a contingency too quickly, or, again, in the case of what we saw with the astrology, sometimes a good thing that was meant for us does come too late. And your challenge this week may actually be backpedaling out of out of a road we're already going down, so we can actually get what we were waiting for in the first place. For your emotions with water and your romantic life, we do have the Strength card reversed. This week can actually be kind of hot and cold on the love front, because the Strength card reversed does come with its share of easy and hard. Okay, the easy with the Strength card reversed definitely does show up for passion, for, you know, for more sensuality, more intimacy. You know, a lot of Aries people may be getting quite busy, 18 and over. And with the Strength card reversed, this does indicate a time for you and a partner to perhaps even start exploring and enjoying a bit more of the carnal, you know, celebrating being a bit more of an animal. However, the challenge with this situation with the Strength card reverse can indicate for a lot of you single folks, you may find somebody that you have a lot of that physical, sexual chemistry with. But it may also prove that that's not enough to hold something on. Maybe they're just a playmate and two ships passing in the night, and that's okay too. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, intimacy and sex does not, you know, it's not one of the four corners of a relationship. It's probably a wall, but it's not part of the foundation. So I hope you all found this helpful. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. And of course, if you ever want to get a session, you can always follow the links below, or go to integrativemysticism.com.